Welcome everyone, Adam the Woo here. It's my second channel, daily blog channel. It's the Daily Woo. Normally I'm out and about filming things, wonderful things around, either in the wilderness or the concrete jungle of cities, or just strange, bizarre, unusual items. But today I'm not going to be doing that. I'm just going to stay stationary here in my van. I'm going to tell you some stories, spin some yarns, and give you some memories about a friend of mine that I met a couple years ago through doing these videos. That I mentioned it was the Daily Woo. It's the Daily Woo. And the reason I bring up it's the Daily Woo, not only because it's the video, but also because it has a lot to do with the storyline of what I'm going to tell you. When I started doing these vlogs as well as my main channel videos, I started to build up a very small core group of original followers that eventually became friends, kindred spirits, if you will. Because in the beginning, no one really watched my videos. I had a very, very low amount of people that even followed me or even stumbled upon my videos. Over time, it has grown to what it is now, which is amazing. But in the past, there was always one or two people, 3 or 4 people, that always contacted me, emailed me, and said, hey man, stick with it. You're doing the right thing. Because even when I would get depressed and think, what am I doing? Quitting my job, traveling around, filming things? That doesn't make any sense. Taking a camera and filming something, no money, just traveling around, living life and filming random things. Sounds like it would be awesome and fun, which it is, but in the beginning, very, very difficult, especially when you don't have a lot of support. So, saying that, always those core group of people in the beginning with any project that you've done or I've done that always support you. The great thing about the internet is those supporters normally are people that you don't know. If they weren't your friend back in the day, they're not your family, they're just people you've never met that latch onto you through the email. They feel they know you, they start emailing you, and then you eventually meet them and you become friends with them. And this happened with a certain YouTuber named 66Hellride. His YouTube channel is 66Hellride. He got a little bit of notoriety because he actually was on another YouTube channel, a bigger YouTube channel, that he was kind of the announcer for. So he got a little bit of a boost on his YouTube channel, and a lot of people from that other channel that he helped out with years ago started to know 66Hellride. His name was Jason Craig. Jason eventually became a very good friend of mine, and the reason for that, because he had a very kind spirit, very kind soul, one of the nicest guys I've ever met on the road. And I just want to let you guys know that Jason, 66Hellride, I got the news last night, has actually been taken from us and has actually passed away. It's very sad. It's one of those things where you kind of see it coming, but even when you hear the news, I got an email last night from another friend of his, just like me, that met him online, ended up following his videos, talking to him. They became friends, very close friends. They would talk on the phone all the time, became really good buddies. I heard from him last night that he has passed away. And it really definitely hit me last night when I got the email and I read it. I had been in contact with this other friend of his recently about the decline of his health, of Jason's health. He had ALS, which I have never been familiar with. It's also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. And I really did not realize how harsh this particular disease was. 2 years ago, I went through Kansas City. Kansas City is a good central point of the U.S. Since I'm traveling, Kansas City is a good centralized area. When Jason originally hit me up 2 or 3 years ago, gosh, probably, I think it was November of 2012, so a year and a half, 2 years ago, he said, hey man, I love your videos. I've been talking to him online for a while. I really want to take you out to lunch. Just talk about traveling, talk about memories, talk about pop culture. So I ended up meeting up with Jason for the first time on that day, November of 2012. He took me out to lunch. We sat around, exchanged stories. Jason was a big rock and roll guy, loved his rock and roll, kind of a metalhead. He was a biker. He loved Route 66, which is why he chose the name for his YouTube channel, 66Hellride. loved all the roadside attractions of Route 66, and also loved rat rods and old classic cars. He was an old school guy, and just that's basically the gist of his username. So basically, met up with him that day, went out to lunch, told some stories, told me one story about how when he was younger and his son was a lot younger, they actually got to meet Ozzy Osbourne. He told me the story a couple times, and like a good friend, always, over all the multiple times I met up with him, he'd always tell me the same story. The thing that was great about friends, always listen to their other friends' stories even though they've heard them a couple times, and they always are excited about the excitedness that the friend that's telling me the story. Told me the story about how he went to a concert, his son came up missing for a moment backstage. When he finally found his son, he was sitting in Ozzy Osbourne's lap. One of his idols, one of Jason's idols, loved rock and roll. So for him, getting to see his son sitting in Ozzy's lap and Ozzy talking to him, and then getting to meet Ozzy Osbourne from Black Sabbath was like a big deal for him. So just some cool stories we got to exchange. And then he lived outside of Kansas City in an area called Independence, Missouri, which is right outside. It's where Harry S. Truman lived, the President of the United States, Harry S. Truman. And he showed me all around the Harry S. Truman spots. We went all around that little town area. We went to a little centralized area in that little region there that had an old school soda fountain, and I expressed my interest. Man, I really like old school cherry Cokes. I always like the Cokes with the cherry flavor dipped in, not the traditional cherry Coke you see in a bottle now or out of a fountain from like 7-Eleven, but the old school, like the grenadine stuff in there. And Jason said, man, I know where we can get one of those. So he took me to this little secret spot that he knew about, that he used to visit back in the day, that Harry S. Truman actually used to work at as a young lad. So this place is old school. So we went, the 66Hellride and I went there, had a little beverage, a little cherry Coke. We both had one, each one of us together, walking around the town square in the footsteps of Harry Truman. They had all these little plaques up of Harry Truman did this here and did this. So that was interesting, sharing some time with him and having a good time. So basically that was in the end of 2012. I left and went on my travels, became really good friends. We talk on the phone, we text, a lot of texting, a lot of emails. And then I went back through probably about 8-9 months ago. This is 4 or 5 months after the first time I had met him. And we got lunch again. And he showed up. Actually, we didn't meet at first. We ended up meeting at Grand Central Station. I did a vlog about where Walt Disney took a shower, walked from Laugh-O-Gram Studios down into the area where he showered in the bathroom at Union Station. So Jason met me there, and I knew that something was wrong when I met him that second time. He really wasn't able to walk. He had a cane, and he definitely had deteriorated quite a bit since the first time I had seen him 6 months before. And I remember him kind of telling me about the ALS in the beginning, the Lou Gehrig's disease. And I didn't really put 2 and 2 together. I just figured, oh, he's not feeling well. I didn't realize how severe it really was until that second time. So we walked around. We were walking through Union Station, and we were just talking. I was pointing things out, and I turned around, and Jason had actually fallen on the ground onto the hard, not concrete, but like a concrete with whatever that slab, the slab of, I don't know, Flamica or whatever that is they put over the concrete, and he had actually fallen. His cane had dropped his cane and had fallen on the ground. So I turned around, helped him up. Luckily, he didn't break anything. You could tell it hurt him a little bit. I think it hurt his ego a little bit. And he just kept apologizing. Hey, I don't really want to slow you down from what you're doing. And I was there to hang out with him, so it definitely did not slow me down in any way. I said, hey, buddy, you're doing good. Everything's fine. Let's walk around, go at your pace. So we ended up filming the video. In fact, all the videos that I was in of his videos on his channel, I'm going to put all those down below, as well as the video he was in my TheDailyWoo from that day. He was actually wearing a TheDailyWoo shirt. That's what I got to say about him. He was very big supportive of my videos, always supported me. Every time we would hang out, he would always say, you're doing the right thing, you're doing the right thing. These videos, not only for me, are big because I can't go out and go visit these places, but I have visited these places in the past, so they're memories for me, but also memories for other people. And there's other people talking about himself. There's other people like him that couldn't go out and see and do things at this point in their life. So it always made me think, I am definitely doing the right thing, kept me motivated. So I gotta say, definitely a big motivation and inspiration in my life that he was and will continue to be. So basically we finished that day, walked around, filmed that little vlog, which I'm going to put all those videos down below in honor of Jason, 66Hellride. After that we went and got lunch, ate some lunch again. He told me the Ozzy Osbourne story again, which is kind of like a Wayne's World moment where I had kind of heard it and I was like, oh, that's cool, which is still really awesome. So he definitely was pumped on that Ozzy moment. The thing that's really awesome about Jason, not only was he the big metalhead, big old school car guy, living in Missouri, he was a big Walt Disney fan, Mickey Mouse fan, big Walt fan. The thing about Walt Disney fans, they're not only normal people, a lot of them have a lot of tattoos, big gnarly beards. Jason had this huge, gnarly, crazy biker beard. It was awesome. Basically put this little puny beard I have to shame. But you never know who's going to be into the Disney stuff, and that really brought us together, the kinship we had. Talking about Walt Disney, a lot of history in Kansas City, since he was from right outside Kansas City, just a few miles. He knew a lot of history about Walt Disney. He's the one that originally told me where Laugh-O-Gram Studios was. I went and visited that when I visited him. Talked about Walt Disney a lot. Talked about my history at Disney World and the Disneyland stuff. So just a big Walt Disney guy, which, you know, I am always close to anybody Disney. So that definitely helped, as well as his kindness, his friendship to me over the years, and his not only his inspiration to me, because when he started getting sick, he continued these vlogs on his channel, the 66Hellride channel. Started to wither away, became very skinny, skin and bones, laying in bed, hasn't posted a video for a couple months, basically hasn't even been able to text or call. In fact, I got a text from him a couple months ago, and he even said, hey, I really can't text anymore, having a hard time utilizing my fingers. So very difficult, very sad. This has kind of been my little tribute to Jason, 66Hellride. I want to let you guys know his family, his longtime girlfriend, and his son, his family have been trying to organize some money. I'm going to put a link, the very first link right down below, and I'll also post it on my Facebook page, under this video on my Facebook page, /TheDailyWoo. Jason wanted to be cremated. Family did not have a lot of money based on doctor bills, a lot of home care bills, a lot of in and out of the hospital over this last 6 months to a year. So trying to get a little bit of money. So if you could do me a favor, for someone that supported me, anybody else that supports me, at least go to that page, donate $1 or $2. The link will be down below. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, that's why I'm going to post the link down below. So go over there if you would. Even if you don't donate anything, at least on your social networks, you know, Twitter and Facebook, take that link and repost it for Jason, just like I'm going to repost it, to help his family out. They don't really have a lot of money. This is the least I can do, honestly. This is the absolute minimal least, is to do like a little 15-minute homage, my memories of 66Hellride, a good friend of mine, an inspiration. I'm never going to forget this guy. Always had a smile on his face, always in a chipper mood, always happy, always joking around, even right to the very end. The last time I talked to him on the phone was probably 3 or 4 months ago. He was very sad, but he was also very excited because not only he knew he was going to eventually be passing, to me he said, man, I'm really excited because I got to see my son go off to military school and then eventually join the military, and I got to see the birth of my grandchild and hold my grandchild. So he was very content even to the very end. So this one goes out to you, 66Hellride. I don't know what else to say. So I'm definitely very bummed out, but I'm also very excited to have met a great friend that I'm always going to remember. And I'm going to continue these videos for 66Hellride and for everyone else that can't go out and do their own thing anymore. I love all you guys. And Jason, I love you too, man.